The longer Warnya was missing, the more relaxed Tianming's heart became. He felt that with the passage of time, Warnya's chances of survival have become smaller and smaller. Honor is not as open-minded as him. He stood aside and asked in a low voice nervously, "Dad, Charlie still has some tricks. We must be careful not to let him see the clues." Tianming nodded. "This is natural. All we two have to do is to act well," Honor said again. "By the way, Dad, I still feel a little unsure in my heart these past 2 days. Where did Warnya go? How could it be made sure that she is alive or dead?" Tianming sneered. "I think Warnya is probably dead, but the body has not been found yet." Honor hurriedly asked. "Why are you so sure?" Tianming said indifferently. "Pay attention to survival rate, just like a person suddenly disappears. The most likely time to find him is 12 hours after the disappearance. If you don't find him 12 hours after he disappeared, the chances of finding him will be slim as you go later. If it exceeds 24 hours, the probability of finding him is reduced by at least half. If it takes more than 48 hours, the probability of finding him is probably less than 25%. And as time goes by, not only will the chance of finding him become increasingly slim, but his survival rate will also become smaller and smaller." Speaking of this, Tianming said again, "By the way, you should often see some hot searches about missing persons on Google. Some people went out for a run and suddenly disappeared, some people got in the car and went to a certain place. Then they disappeared." Honor nodded. "There are indeed many hot searches like this, and there will be one every once in a while." Tianming continued. "Generally speaking, in a situation like, if you can't find people quickly, the end result will be bad luck. There have been many enthusiastic netizens all over the network who are helping to find people, but after a period of time, there is the bad news of the body being found. So I think that if Warnya has been missing for so long, there is a high probability that she should have died. Moreover, people can stay hopeful until they die. There is absolutely no proof of death. What's more, these people weren't killed by us. It was Hashimoto who looked for someone to kill first, so it's even harder to find our heads. The sky is falling. Isn't Hashimoto who is there to hold us first? As long as there is nothing wrong with him, we can sit back and relax. If something really happens to him, we can just run away." Honor was relieved and said with a smile, "If this is the case, we will have to contact Hashimoto in the future to ensure that we can grasp his daily routine." Tianming nodded. "You're right. For us, Hashimoto is a beacon tower. When you see Hashimoto catching fire and smoking, it proves that we are also in danger. If there is no fire, then we can continue to sit back and relax." After all, Tianming took out his cell phone and called Hashimoto. The call was made quickly. Hashimoto often talks about business all over the world, so his mobile phone has a service similar to global roaming. No matter which country he goes to, he can access communication through the local mobile network. Therefore, even if he is in Oru's Hill now, he can still receive calls from Tianming. It just so happened that at this time the plane had landed near the Song group. Charlie heard the phone ringing in Hashimoto's pocket, stretched out his hand and took a look, and saw the 3 characters Tianming written on it. When Japanese people use Chinese characters almost all of their names, they also use Chinese characters when recording Chinese names. When Charlie saw that it was Tianming's call, he immediately said to Hashimoto, "If you want to survive, be obedient, otherwise I will send you directly to the kennel today, chopped up and feed the dog." "I understand." "No," Hashimoto nodded and said with a pleading face, "as long as you can spare my life, no matter what you ask me to do, I will do it honestly." Charlie said coldly. "Connect Tianming's phone, he wants to ask about your recent development, you tell him everything is fine, and let him know that you are still in Japan." Hashimoto nodded immediately like garlic. Seeing his appearance, Charlie knew that he had no guts to deceive himself, so he handed the phone to him, and said coldly, "Take it now." Hashimoto didn't dare to delay first, and immediately pressed the answer button after receiving the phone. When the phone was connected, Tianming, who could clearly hear the other end of the phone, finally breathed a sigh of relief. He said with emotion, "Oh, Mr. Hashimoto, what are you doing? Why haven't you answered the phone for so long?" Hashimoto hurriedly followed Charlie's instructions, and said, "I'm in a meeting, Now I'm out of the meeting room to answer your call. What can you do? Tianming smiled and said, there is nothing wrong with me. I just want to ask you how things are going on in Japan. Does Warnya have any news? Is the TMPD still searching for her whereabouts? Hashimoto said. Warnya still has no news, but I think we spent so much effort to murder Warnya at the time. She is now probably dead, and the TMPD is gradually recovering police. I think there is a high probability that this matter will be over, so you don't have to worry about it. When Tianming heard these words, he really felt more at ease, and said with a smile, "Oh. Mr. Hashimoto is really reliable. As long as Warnya is dead, we really won't have any worries." After finishing speaking, he said hurriedly, "By the way, Mr. Hashimoto, I will hold a press conference soon to officially announce that I will take over the chairmanship of Song Group. Once I officially become chairman, our cooperation can speed up the progress," Hashimoto said quickly. "That's really great. I have already greeted our board of directors. When you formally take over as chairman, we will meet and have a good talk about follow-up cooperation." "The problem," Tianming said excitedly. "Good Mr. Hashimoto." After all, Tianming said again, "I'm sorry, Mr. Hashimoto, it's time for the press conference soon. I won't tell you for now, let's wait for the day of signing the contract, and then thank you in person." Hashimoto said, "Mr. Song doesn't have to be so polite. You can go ahead if you have anything to do, and wait for the rest to talk about the rest. It is good." Here, Tianming hung up the phone, and immediately looked at Honor with excitement, and said excitedly, "Hashimoto said that the TMPD is about to withdraw the police force. It seems that he has not found any clues." Honor said excitedly, "That's great. As long as they give up searching, then this matter will be fixed." Tianming laughed, stood up, waved his big hand, and said with great interest, Go downstairs to develop the conference. As soon as the press conference opens, I will be the chairman of the Song Group."